Hello and welcome to the first day of Vlogmas. My name is Emily from Emily Cromwell Designs, and I design colorful and happy bookish merch for readers. Throughout the entire month of December, I am going to be doing Vlogmas. I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently because I'm going to be doing a 12-day version. Your girl can't handle a 24-day. Sorry guys, I can't do it, but I'm going to do 12 days. I have never done Vlogmas before, so I'm really excited and I can't wait to celebrate the holidays with you guys. So this first video, a lot of you guys have been asking if I could do a Q&A type video, and I wanted the first day of Vlogmas to be a Q&A, so you guys sent me so many questions. So we have a lot to get to today. I hope I'm able to give you the answers that you're looking for. I hope you have fun hanging out with me, learning some small business tips, learning more about me and my life and what goes on behind the scenes of the business Emily Cromwell Designs. And let's get on to it. So throughout this video, you are going to see me continuously looking down. I promise I'm not ignoring you guys, but I have all the questions on my phone, so that's why I'm looking down. Okay, so first question is, I would love to know what your long-term plans for your business are. If you have any, like getting a bigger office, selling in stores, markets, hiring staff, or anything. Love your videos, Emily. First of all, thank you. I'm so glad you love my videos. So that is an awesome question, and I'm kind of really glad that one came up first because that's a great way to start the video. So I have very big dreams for my business. When I first started my business, my big dreams are currently what they are now. I wanted a studio room in my house that was just dedicated to my office. Built that this year. I wanted to get to a point where I could live off my business full time. Did that a few years ago, and I wanted to build a community of positivity and just happiness and good vibes. Also did that. So my other big goals, I don't know when or if they will happen, but the very first one is I do need a bigger space. So originally I thought this space would be big enough. However, I am quickly outgrowing it. My business has just really been taking off this year, which I'm so immensely grateful for. But growth comes with also needing to grow my space. So I've been in talks with my mom to see if I could expand out into the other side of the room, because I'm in a room in my basement. We renovated it this year, and the other side is just filled with like storage and stuff. So I'm like, there's two possibilities. Either I'm gonna buy a storage unit to store inventory, boxes, like materials, all that stuff in, or I'm gonna have a storage unit to put our storage stuff in, like, you know, like keepsakes from when you're younger, and expand into the other room. So stay tuned. I don't know what we're doing yet, but we're gonna have to do it quickly because things are rapidly growing here, which is a good problem to have. And then, what was the other thing? A bigger office and sorts. Yes, so I do need to hire people. I have been trying to get my mom, so I currently have a virtual assistant who does all the ordering for the print-on-demand orders, and I'm gonna have her start to do more tasks. I might do like customer service, emails, other things, and like doing listing updates, stuff like that, just to help on the back end side of things. And then I've been trying to convince my mom to come work for me full-time. If not full-time, then part-time a few times a week. She helps out when she can, and it is so helpful, but I'm realizing that I'm needing kind of like constant help, especially during busy months, the holiday season. So she's currently working on a few things though, so she said once she has her things under control, then she'll be able to come on for me either part-time or full-time, which is going to be such a big help. My ultimate goal has always been one day to have a physical retail storefront. I don't know how well that would do though, because so many of my customers are in different areas of the world and the US and everywhere else. So I don't know how many people locally would come, but it's always been a dream of mine to open a store where it has my products, a spot for indie authors to have their books in there, and then like a little cafe. That's always been a dream of mine. Okay, next question. What were the first steps you took that led you to start a business? I would love to hear your process. So I started my business a few days before my senior year of high school. I went to the town hall, got a business license, and just grew it from there. I just known that I wanted to start a business where I was the owner, where it was me selling my artwork and me just trying to put as much happiness and positivity that I could out into the world, because I just think the world needs more of that, and you can never have enough positivity in my opinion. And so the steps really that I took were, I got a business license first and foremost, and then I got registered to do sales tax, and then I think it was QuickBooks where I kept track of tax stuff throughout the year to get on the ball with that, and then I just read a lot of books about how to run a business, how to start an Etsy shop, and it was really a lot of trial and error, but that was my initial few steps. Okay, next one is I'm excited that you're doing Vlogmas. I love watching my favorite YouTubers every day. I'm so happy I'm one of your favorites. Thank you. I'm interested to know if you have any siblings, and if so, are you close with them? So technically I am an only child, but I do have 2 step siblings. They're both a bit older than me, like one's 2 years older, one is 4 years older. We all kind of like do our own thing. I'm closer with one of them, but then the other one is living out in the Midwest, and I don't think I've heard from them in a few years, but they're out doing their thing. And the other step sibling I have, she comes over and visits like once a week or so. So close with one of them, but then don't really hear much from the other one, but every now and then. All right, next question is, what has been your favorite read of 2023? All right, I am curious to know, do you guys have any guesses about what my favorite book was? If you guessed Fourth Wing, you are correct. When I tell you that I am obsessed with that book, I am obsessed. It is such an amazing book, but one of the reasons it is more special to me is because the main character in the book also has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome like I do, because I know the author Rebecca Yarros has it. I think she mentioned in an interview that she wanted to write a character to also represent the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome community, and that just, it was the coolest thing because I have never seen this syndrome that I have represented in any book, shape, or form. So to see it in a romance book, in a fantasy romance book, where she's riding dragons, getting the guy, it is just so cool. And I loved that aspect of it, but the storytelling, the writing, the plot, the world building, the romance, it was 10 out of 10, the best, my favorite book of the year. All right, next one is I was listening to a vlog of yours a while back. I think it was a vlog where you mentioned when you started your business, you hardly sold anything. How did you move on from that? That is a really good question because that was discouraging. And I mean, obviously, right, that's discouraging for anybody when you're trying to start a business. You feel so passionate about it, you have all these great ideas, and it's heartbreaking when you put so much effort and money into starting something and it's crickets. You feel like you're talking to a big empty room and no one's there. And for a long, long time, I really only had a few people as my support system cheering me on, rooting me forward, and my mom was the biggest support system I had, and she just really encouraged me. She's like, keep going, you got this, follow your dream. There were sometimes I felt like giving up, to be honest. In college, I kind of put my business on the back burner and I focused on college more so. I would do markets like on the weekends and I would still sell on Etsy, but I really hadn't found like my niche yet and what my passion was. I knew I loved to draw, but I didn't find that thing yet that just really gave me purpose or like a direction that I wanted to go in with my business. And I just kept trying and showing up because I refused to quit. I refused to accept that I wouldn't succeed. And it is much harder, it's much easier said than done because it's just hard to do. But I refused to quit was really the biggest thing. Okay, so the next one is, what made you become an illustrator? Were you doing anything else before you chose this career? By the way, all your work is beautiful. So my family has always joked that I learned to draw before I learned to read because I was just always drawing. I was always creating as a kid. I remember being a very little kid and I would, like growing up after school, I would go to art lessons, I would participate in art shows, I would do so many art things, and I've just always been an illustrator. Like it's in my blood. I've always been a drawer. Next question is, how do you get your fabric printed? They are so pretty. Thank you so much. So I use a US-based fabric printer. To find those, it's pretty easy because there's a few different options out there. Just go on Google and type in like whatever your country is, like US, UK, and like for me, I would type US-based print-on-demand fabric manufacturer or print-on-demand fabric printer, and you can like look through and see which ones you like, and and you can compare to see which ones like may fit in your budget better or some, because pricing is a bit different with different companies. So that's how I recommend finding those. Next question, what design tips do you have for upcoming artists? And can you do an in-depth video on making magnetic bookmarks? I've had a lot of requests to do a video about making magnetic bookmarks start to finish, so maybe that could be a Vlogmas video. let me know if you guys want to see that, and I could do it as a whole video, start to finish. I don't know how long of a video that would be, but I could try, make that happen, do like a little tutorial. Any tips for upcoming artists? My biggest tip really is just stay true to you. It's very easy to get caught up with seeing other people being successful or seeing another artist doing so well, and then if you feel like you're not doing so well, and comparison is awful on social media. I struggle with it. It's really, really hard. My biggest tip is, I've heard this somewhere before, I cannot remember who said it, is don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Like, for example, if you're just starting and you're comparing yourself to me, I've been running my business for, was it 12 years now? So you starting at 0 and me at 12 years, it's very different timelines of where you should be. So never get down on yourself or feel bad because you're not as far along as another artist or anywhere. Like, all of our paths are different. Some people get successful really quickly. I've seen that happen and it's amazing. Some people, like myself, it takes 12 years to become successful and have people find you and start liking your artwork. Everyone is different, but I mean, just keep going, first of all. Don't give up on your dreams ever, and just create what brings you joy. Like, make art that you're excited to create, because I truly feel if you're making art just for the sake of making art and you're not in love with what you're doing, I feel like that really can transfer over and people can see that, and people gravitate towards things that bring you joy, in my opinion. So that's my tip, or I guess 2 tips there. Okay, let's see. There's really good questions already, but I'd like to know what and who are your inspirations? Ooh, man. You know, I don't even have really one inspiration. I will say I've always loved Vincent van Gogh because I've always loved his unique take on artwork and how whimsical it was, and he didn't follow the status quo of where artwork has to be realistic and you always have to do realism. And growing up, I always thought that. And when I first started my business, I was doing realistic art prints. I would draw deer, I would draw a boat, whatever. And yeah, it looked real, it looked good, but it didn't bring me joy. It didn't feel unique to me. And I just really have loved over the years just like Starry Night and all his beautiful paintings of how you look at it and you know it's his artwork. Even without seeing his name, or if it's a painting of his you haven't seen of his before, you can tell it's his because of the brush strokes or how he paints. And I love that. And I've always wanted to be like that. I want people to see my art out in the wild or see it online and be like, that's Emily, before even seeing my name. I loved that about his artwork. All right, I'd love to know more about your family. I think I've gathered that you have a mom and a cat. Yes, I do, but I don't know much else about you. Let's see, I do have a mom and a cat. So I live with my mom, my stepdad, my cat, and my boyfriend of many, many years. So my parents divorced when I was very little. I was 7 years old when they separated, and they both really within a year or 2 following got remarried. For me, it was very quick, and yeah, I struggled with that at a young age. And when my mom remarried, we actually moved up here. So I'm actually from Virginia, so if you notice some southern twang come out randomly when I speak, that's why. I was born and raised in Virginia. So I moved up here. So my dad actually, all my family still lives in Virginia, and it's just me and my mom up here and my stepdad. So I don't have family up here. It gets lonely. I unfortunately don't see my dad more than once a year. I haven't seen him now since 2021. We'll do like every 2 weeks, we'll do like Zoom, FaceTime calls, stuff like that to hang out. Supposed to see each other sometime next year. Life just gets crazy, and yeah, and I do have 2 step siblings from my stepdad's side, and I have stepmom, and so that's my family. And I do have a cat, Toby, but if you weren't around before Toby, I had another kitty that I adopted her in Virginia when she was 8 weeks old. Her name was Misty, and I apologize if I tear up. She was my soulmate cat, and she passed away in 2021, and it still rips my heart apart to this day. I cry very frequently over that. She was my soulmate in a cat form. She was just the best. I adored her, and she was with me for 16 and a half years through elementary school, middle school, high school, college, through running my business. I mean, she was the original Emily Cromwell Design Studio cat. So you can, I don't know if you can see, I have a pillow of her over here, and behind me on the wall is a painting of me and her, so I still have her with me in my studio. But yeah, so that's kind of my little family. All right, moving right along. Next one is, what are your top 3 all-time favorite books? Oh man, how can you ask this of me? Do you know how hard that is? And then there's another one. Okay, so what are your top 3 all-time favorite books? Okay, so the top 2 that are a tie is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. And then the second one is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And the third one, oh, that's easy. Belladonna. I read that this year and phenomenal. I loved it. So yeah, if you can't tell, I love romance fantasy books. That's my jam. All right, next one. Okay, how does Toby stay looking so fluffy and cute? He is a little fluff ball, okay? So this guy is so fluffy. I've only ever had short hair cats. This is the first fluffiest cat I've ever had. He is just the biggest fluff, but what's hard is he hates being brushed. So we have to really like bribe him with treats and like give him some lovin's to like get him to like be okay with getting brushed. But yeah, so we're always trying to like brush him to like keep his hair nice and not tangled, because he gets tangled very easily. All right, and then what is your favorite design or product you've ever created thus far? Ooh, golly gee. I gotta think on that, hold on. All right, I got it. So it is a tie between these 2 bookmarks. So this bookmark is one of my best sellers. This one is not. I don't sell my Reading Narwhal bookmark much, but guys, this is one of my favorite designs I've ever done. I adore the colors and just how happy he is, and he's reading a book. It's just cute. And then this one, I loved like the scene that I made, because it just, you feel like you just want to walk into it and just walk up the path to the library. How do you manage product ordering? How far in advance do you plan for a launch? By the time I remember to order something, I'm frantically praying it gets here in time, or I'm delaying releasing things. I can fully relate to you on that. With my holiday launch this year, I was very late in ordering things and things were chaotic. So I definitely recommend ordering really far in advance to prevent that from happening, so you're not overly stressed. So how I manage product ordering, I have an inventory management tool called that I use called Trunk. It is a paid service, but in my opinion, it's well worth what you have to pay for it, because it syncs in live time the inventory amounts between my Etsy shop and my Shopify store. So anytime an order is placed on Shopify, it'll update that on Etsy and vice versa, and it really keeps me sane. When I tell you that I used to manually update the inventory between Etsy and Shopify myself, don't do that. Learn from me. Please don't do that. You're giving yourself way much more stress than you need. Don't do that. And then, so how far in advance do you plan for a launch? So I plan my launches out at the start of the year, really. I will put down the dates that I want to do launches, and then I will put down the dates that I need to start designing by, and then the dates that I need to order certain products by. So products that I get manufactured overseas, like washi tape or like throw pillows or something like that, I will say, okay, buy this 2 months in advance on this date. Like if it's for the Christmas launch, which is early November, I'm buying that in September to give myself enough time to get it. If it's something like bookmarks and stickers where I know I can get it in a week, that I will buy a few weeks prior, assuming I have all the designs done. This year I was really hard on myself and I didn't get the designs done as early as I wanted to. So next year my goal is to make sure to get the designs done. I try to get them done a good month or even 2 in advance, and then ordering the products immediately after to give them time to come in, because you also want to give yourself time in case products come in and there's errors on them, like manufacturer errors happen and they need to send replacements. So give yourself enough time to account for that too. All right, next one is, are you thinking of having children in the future? And do you have any siblings, and how many, and do they live with you and your mom? So I originally thought I wanted to have kids for a long time. My boyfriend and I had talked about like when we got married, we'd want to have kids. But as we both have gotten a bit older, into our late 20s, we've really changed our minds on that, and neither of us want kids. And for different reasons. Me personally, I think it just doesn't align with the dreams and goals I have for myself. My baby is my business, and I want to put my all and focus into that and growing that. It's my happy place, and it's just, I've worked so hard, and I really want to focus on my business and like career side, and also with this chronic health condition I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have been warned from a very young age, ever since I was diagnosed with this, that some women, everyone's different, but some women with this condition can have a really hard pregnancy and have complications. And the complications could be very scary. And I don't know if I want to put myself through that. Maybe I would adopt one day. I don't know, but we shall see. All right, next question. What software do you use to edit your videos? I'm wanting to work on a YouTube channel and know nothing about editing. Thanks, I love your videos. Thank you, I'm so happy you love my videos. So I just use CapCut, not the app on your phone. I use CapCut. What is CapCut? I use CapCut on my desktop. I think they have a desktop app you can get. And I pay for the pro version. They have some fun features on there that I just love to use. And what I love about it, you can do so much with it, but it's a really simple, easy to learn, to the point video editing software. And I need that because I have tried, like, I forget what the other ones were. I don't know if it was like Final Cut Pro, and it went right over my head. I was so confused. I was in tears. I was so confused trying to figure out the ins and outs of color grading and all this stuff, and I love CapCut. I've used that for every single YouTube video I've done, and done well for me, so I recommend CapCut. All right, 2 questions for this one. 1, where do you find the time to do all that you do? You have so many products. So I really don't sleep. I sleep between the hours of rarely and never. I have a very strict system that I have gotten pretty nailed down for over the years. Monday through Friday. And if it's not a busy time of the year, I'd work Monday through Thursday, packing orders during the day, usually between like 9 and 4 or something like that. And then in the evenings is when I'll do drawing or computer work, prepping files for the next day, social media, email newsletter writing. And then the weekends I try to take off. I don't like to pack orders on the weekends unless it's November and December, when it's my really busy season. Because everyone, you need self-care. You got to take care of yourself and rest. And then the weekends is when I'll do like launch prep if I have a launch coming up. So photo shoot, photo editing, listing things on the site, stuff like that. And I edit all of my YouTube videos mostly on the weekends or in the evenings, like late evenings, usually at like 8 p.m. to like midnight or something. All right, second question is, how's your back feeling at that moment? I think this question was posted, there was a video I was doing something. My back was good. When I'm lifting a lot of stuff, I kind of get a lot of pain in my back, but I think I was doing okay that day. Okay, we got a few questions on this one. 1, what is your favorite book series of all time and favorite standalone? So I'm gonna give you 2 things. My favorite book series of all time that is not fantasy but is romance is the Fallen Crest series. And then my favorite series of all time that is fantasy is A Court of Thorns and Roses. I love that series. And then my favorite standalone. You know what? I don't even know if I have a favorite standalone. How awful is that to say? I did like the book On Dublin Street. I thought that was phenomenal. Yeah, On Dublin Street. I loved that book. I don't read many books that are standalones. I love series because I love to just be able to continue them and get lost in the world. But On Dublin Street, that was a good one. Okay, second question is, what kind of printer do you recommend for colored prints that won't use up a ton of ink for each piece? Ink-wise, I'm not sure how good it is, but I use Canon inkjet printers. I have the Canon, TS9521C? It's a cute white printer if you look it up. I use that printer for everything. I'm actually thinking of getting a second one because I do so much printing. I have tried different printers before where it's like the ink saving programs where they'll mail you ink or something like that, or like you can and I just never had any luck with that. It didn't work out well for me. And then I've heard about printers where you can like refill them yourself. For some reason, I can't remember. I looked them up and like saw it at Staples or something and I just didn't like it for some reason. But they are out there, so there's a few options. Third question is, what is something at the top of your bucket list? I want to go to Paris, see the Eiffel Tower, and just see it at night lit up. That is like my #1 life goal, followed by seeing the Northern Lights. Okay, question, your business has grown so much. What are your plans for expansion of your current studio space as you continue to grow? So I think this one I kind of answered, but yeah, so basically I need to expand somehow. I'm either going to expand into this area outside of where these doors are, or one day I might even need to get a warehouse or an office space with multiple rooms, so I could have like a shipping room, inventory room, office room, stuff like that. So we'll see. I'm not quite sure yet. Question: who is that young man that is with you sometimes? Partner, boyfriend? That is Chris. That is my boyfriend. We are college sweethearts. We have been together since we were 19, and we are both 29 now, so we've been together quite a long time. Next question is there a possibility of creating a wish list option on your website? I love this question because I get asked this so many times. That is something that's on my to-do list to like look into doing. Love to be able to find if there's like a free option I can do that for. Usually all these apps you have to pay to do stuff like that. So I'm on the hunt. If anyone knows of anything, please let a girl know, help me out. But that is something that I have gotten a lot of requests for, so I am currently looking into that. Okay, next question is about wholesale orders. Do you sell products at a lower cost? Do you agree upon a profit percentage you earn? Does the store make a profit off of you? How does it work? So that's a great question, because when I first started out with wholesale, I was so confused. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, what? Can somebody help me? So I hope I can give you some clear answers and help make it less confusing and hard for you. Yes, you do sell products at a lower cost. Wholesale, typically you would mark down your products 50%. So say you're selling, I don't know, a journal for $10, you would list that wholesale for $5. So really what's important for wholesale is only selling products wholesale that you can make a profit off of when it's marked down 50%. So if you're buying a journal and it costs you $6, you wouldn't want to wholesale that because you're losing money. And then does the store make a profit off of you? So when a store buys the products, they buy it for 50% off from you, and then they go in their shop and you give them a suggested retail price. So you would say, this journal that is $5 wholesale, suggested retail price is $10. So then they would go and mark it at $10, or sometimes they even do it a bit higher. Really, it's up to the retailer, but usually they will do it at your suggested retail price. And when you're doing wholesale, I really recommend setting order minimums. So like, for example, I believe my minimum order quantity is I think it's they have to spend $100. That's like the minimum order quantity, because if you have it really low, you probably won't make as much. So definitely set an order minimum, and that could really help. All right, what are you currently reading? What genre is your favorite? So my favorite genre is romance combined with fantasy. I cannot read a book if the main plot of the story is not romance. In any book that has fae, vampires, spirits, ghosts, werewolves, shifters, that is my jam. I love fantasy romance books. And so currently reading, I have to pull up Goodreads because I can never, does anybody else struggle with this? I cannot remember the names of the books that I'm reading. It's awful to say, but. So the current audiobook that I'm reading is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. And then I literally just started the ebook North Queen by Nicola Teish. So both fantasy books, those are what I'm reading. All right, next one. I like the way your magnets on your bookmarks make that snapping sound. Where do you get your magnets? Isn't that a fun sound? It is just like, it's the best. I love that sound. So I get all the magnets from Amazon. There are a lot of different vendors on there to choose from, but a good tip to help you find ones with strong adhesive so they won't fall off is look for manufacturers where the magnets are made with a 3M adhesive, and those are the really strong ones that you want to use. Next one is, do you have a coaching program? If not, would you consider it for the future? Coaching for startup small business would be a hit with your fun demeanor and attitude. Thank you. So I have been asked this a few times, if I'm being honest, and you guys are really making me start to wonder if this is something I should do. So if you guys could let me know, is that something you want me to do? I could do a few options. I could do like phone call coaching hours or something like that. I could do like a Zoom, like live talking to each other coaching hours. But I could also even do like, if you're like me and you are an introvert and you just get really shy talking to people, because that's how I get. I'm like a turtle. I go in my shell. I was also thinking before, when someone else asked me this, it could be fun. It could be like an option where you could send me all your questions and I could like record a video of myself answering all the questions, going through them one by one, showing you if you have questions like about, I don't know, products, materials, anything you have questions about, and doing like a recorded video so you always have it to go back to. That could be fun too. So if you guys would be interested in small business coaching from me, whether it's like the phone call, the videos, please let me know, because I genuinely, if you guys feel that would help you, I would be totally up for it and would be happy to start getting in the planning stages of getting that going. So definitely let me know. Question number 1, why did you start your business and how did you come up with your business name? So I have filtered through a few different business names over the years. My first business name was Creations by Emily, and my first website, I think it was like Creations by Emily C, and I never got any visitors to that. It was so depressing. And then I changed it to Emily Cromwell Art and Illustration, Emily Cromwell Illustration. Then I just changed it to Emily Cromwell. And then a few years ago, I was like, you know what? I want it to be Emily Cromwell Designs. And it's just been that ever since, and it clicked. I think I answered this before too, but I just started my business because I've always been an artist and I've always been someone that wanted to have my own business. Like when I was little, my favorite toy to play with was a cash register. Like my parents gave me a cash register and I would just play with it and I would pretend to have a business. I loved it. Question 2, how did your family think about you having your own business? So they were pretty supportive. My mom is my biggest support system ever. From the get-go, she just was like, you got this, I believe in you. Any craft show, any product I did, she'd be the first person to buy it. And she went to every single craft show with me, would set up with me, sit with me the whole 6-8 hours, however long it was, do the takedowns. She's my everything. I'm so grateful for her. And right now, currently, like the past few years, every family member is very supportive. In the beginning, there was a few that they were supportive, but they were kind of like, well, you know, like just prepare yourself. You may not make much money as an artist. Like you may need to get some other jobs. Just don't get your hopes up, basically. And that was hard in the beginning because I mean, you know, you want that support, and that was really hard to kind of have that. But nowadays, when they've come around and they've seen how successful I am, and they're over the moon, so supportive, always asking how launches went, and just very supportive of how everything is now. So everyone has been very supportive the past few years. All right, what do you like to listen to or watch when you're working? And okay, I'll do the next question after. So when I am packing like orders in my shop, I'll listen to audiobooks. So I'm always listening to romance books, fantasy books. I have a little purple speaker. I'll get it, hold on. I just have to show it to you because it matches the vibe of my studio, of course. So I have a purple speaker that I carry around with me. So when I'm at my desk, when I go to the bookmark corner, when I go to the inventory shelves, when I go to the packing station, this comes with me and I'm just playing my book all day long. Yeah, so if you walk down into my studio, you're just gonna hear books playing all the time. And then, what are you really excited to make in the future? What new designs are you planning? Gosh, so I'm currently working on actually doing a brand new version of my book lovers planner. I haven't done a new version in 3 years, so it is my goal for, I don't think I'm gonna get to it this year, but in 2024 to have a brand new book lovers planner. Very excited about that. And then one product that I'm really wanting to do that's brand new for me is like desk mats. You know, I'm doing my order packing videos and it's like the long desk mat. I've gotten a few requests to do that. I'm like, that would be fun. So I think I want to do some desk mats. Okay, this next question is for Toby. So Toby, how do you like being a cute studio cat, and do you like adding your own special touch to products, aka cat hair? Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. He says yes, he loves adding some cute cat hair because he likes to make you guys smile and adds a little bit of flair. Okay, one more question is, would you ever think of adding a paw print here and there to the products? What do you think? Would you be up for that? What do you think? You like that idea? Would you be up for that? He says yes. He's a little camera shy, so I have to speak for him, but he loves that idea. All right, that's all for Toby. Say bye, Tobe. Bye. Okay, next question is, I'm sure you've answered this already, but where did you get the bookmark drawer system? So I originally got these drawers from Amazon, but you can also get them from the Container Store. But I have them linked in my Amazon storefront in the video description, so you can go right to the exact ones that I use. All right, now we are switching over to some questions that came in from Instagram. So how do you make your bookmarks? What paper and tools do you use? So traditional bookmarks, I don't make myself. I draw everything, but I get them made, like printed for me with a manufacturer. And then if I'm gonna laminate them, I have a lamination machine that I use along with laminating pouches that I put those in. And then the magnetic bookmarks, those I make myself. I like to print those on luster paper. It just has a really nice finish to it. And then I use 2 Silhouette Cameo cutting machines to get those cut, and that's how I make those. Next one is, what are your thoughts on print on demand? Why do you prefer to keep your own inventory? I only do print on demand for shirts like apparel, mugs and blankets, and the big throw pillows, mainly because they're just really big and bulky to ship, and I don't like shipping those. And it's just, I don't have space to store apparel, like all the apparel that I have in all the different sizes. I don't have space for that in my studio, so it's easier to have those drop shipped. And I love to keep my own inventory for other things, because if I didn't ship any of my inventory, I would feel really disconnected from the customers, because one of my favorite things about running a business is building the opening experience that you guys have. So with my custom tissue paper, my little stickers that say happy things are inside, I love to change that for the seasons. And every few months I do a new freebie bookmark, and I just love to make the packages feel like you're opening a Christmas present on Christmas morning. And I feel like that just gets lost if you just drop ship things. And with like print on demand, you just kind of lose that personal touch. No matter how big my business grows, I want to keep that personal touch in my business. What do you like to do in your free time? What free time? No, so I do have some free time. I feel like I'm a boring person because I don't do much. Really, I just like to go on walks. I like to go on like scenic drives around my state and like my little town and like the surrounding towns. I like to read books, surprise, surprise there. And I like to watch my shows. I like to watch like Real Housewives, Love Island, it's my favorite, Kardashians, Gilmore Girls, Suits, pretty much what I do in my free time. Sometimes I'll play video games, like I like cozy farming games like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing or Dreamlight Valley, pretty much all I do. Alright, next question, is Alibaba safe? Have you faced any issues with verified manufacturers? So my tip for using Alibaba to find manufacturers is on, I think it's the left side when you're searching for products or manufacturers, make sure to check verified, it's either verified supplier or verified manufacturer, and trade assurance. That way the search results will only show manufacturers with those 2 things. I have had a really great experience on there. I've only had one hiccup on there, and that was with a plushie manufacturer that I used. The only issue was like the products came out phenomenally and I loved them. They promised me like a 30-day turnaround time, and it ended up being 100 days plus. So that's the only issue I ran into. But there's been 2 other companies that I've worked with. I've worked with 3 total. So there's been 2 that have been phenomenal, and 1 that I continue to use every few months, and they just do great work, easy to talk with, always deliver on time, and yeah, so there are some good ones. How did you figure out how to format margin lines when sending your prints out? When you work with manufacturers, the majority of them, I think if not all, will have templates that you can use that have trim lines, bleed lines, and then the margin lines. So you can visually see how far to bleed your artwork out, and then where to keep the text within so that it doesn't get cut off. If this is where it'll get trimmed type of thing. So any manufacturer or printer that you're working with, either ask them to send you a template, or usually it's on the product page somewhere as you scroll down. It can be like a PDF, AI, or PSD file template that you can use. Next one is, how are you so amazing? This one is from, she also has a YouTube channel, The Aesthetic Dollar. I love you. You're the best. Thank you so much. I adore her. I think she's just such a kind, genuine, super sweet person. So if you are not subscribed to her yet, please do. She's phenomenal. And my response to that is, how are you so amazing? Okay? How are you so amazing? Because you're amazing. All right, have you seen an uptick in sales with having a YouTube channel? I think I have. And I've definitely seen an increase in like traffic on my site, but I've also seen an uptick in sales, I think solely for the reason that people that already have followed me on Instagram for so many years are now able to just really like see me for me, like my full personality, what my day-to-day is like, what goes on behind the scenes, because I'm just able to share long-form video content where you just get to hang out with me on like a personal, like friend type level. And I just feel that's really helped my business. So yeah, I think I have. What is your favorite thing about running your own business? I think just the freedom that I have to do whatever I want with my artwork. I've had just so many heartbreaks throughout my life of creating art for like companies or anything and being told your art isn't good enough. A few years ago, before my business really took off, I had actually sent submissions of my artwork to, it was like 20 or 30 children's book publishing houses, so to put my name in the hat for doing children's book art. And let me tell you, every single one said no. Every single one. And for a long time that really made me feel like I wasn't good enough. So being able to run my own business and create the art that I want to make without having any art direction and anyone telling me you should do this different, I don't like this, and then being able to share that and have people love it is the best thing in the world. How many hours do you work a day? Oh gosh, I don't think you want to know. I think it's gonna scare you. So I saw this somewhere on Instagram the other day. It was something along the lines of like, entrepreneurs are the only like crazy people in the world or something like that, that willingly choose to leave a 40-hour per week work job so that they can go and work 80 hours per week for themselves. And it is so true, because you just work so much more when you have a business because you're the only person doing it and getting all the things done. Well, I pack orders every day, 9 p.m. to like 4 p.m. or so, and then for like an hour every evening I'm prepping order files, and then an hour after that I'm getting content together that I filmed or doing for social media, responding to comments, DMs, emails, 12 plus or so or more. Alright, outside of your business, what do you like to do for yourself? Hobbies, hang out with friends. So my mom is my best friend. So, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. She is my very best friend, always has been. And my boyfriend Chris is also my best friend. So really those are the two people that I just do everything with. Like, it's just them. We do everything together. If you weren't designing amazing art, what would you be doing instead? Ooh. You know, I don't even know. What would I be doing instead? Growing up, actually, I always had told myself if I didn't want to follow being an artist, I always wanted to be a vet or do something with working with animals, because I just adore animals. Animals, like all shapes and sizes, I just love them. Not insects. I don't like bugs or reptiles, but I love animals. Anything fluffy. Oh, I love this question. Good question. If you could spend a day in one of your Book Lovers Lane festivals, which one would it be? I also want to know your guys' answers to this, so let me know which one you want to spend the day in. So my top pick would be the late night book festival at Book Lovers Lane. Okay, so all of us readers growing up, was the Scholastic Book Fair not your favorite day in elementary school? Right? I'd look forward to that day all year. And how fun would it just be to just go to like a book fair, like for adults, at night, and you're just walking down the street. You can go into the cafe, get your favorite drink, go to the bookshop, and there's twinkling lights, the stars are out. How much fun would that be? And then there's like a book truck where you could just get books. That's my #1 pick. Followed by the Northern Lights, because I've always wanted to see the Northern Lights. Next one, will you be releasing any more book sleeves and everyday non-holiday prints? Yes, so January through like August is when I do everyday bookish prints. September through December is when I do all my seasonal prints, so they'll be coming next year. What helps you overcome artist block? Really what helps me is stepping away from my iPad and just not drawing until I've worked through whatever the block is, because if I force myself to keep drawing and I'm not feeling it, I just end up hating it and it doesn't come out well, and then I get angry at myself and I get upset and I want to give up. So not forcing myself to draw when I'm not wanting to draw or I'm not having that connection with the artwork like I usually do, I will just step away. I'll go for a walk, go for a drive. I'll just do anything to like get out of my head. What is your favorite item from your shop? What is my favorite item? Is it bad that I don't know? What do I sell? Where are my products? I feel like I love designing notepads. That's like one of my bookmarks too. Okay, it's a tie between bookmarks and notepads because I love designing both equally. Probably bookmarks a little bit more. If you can't tell, because I have 200 plus designs in my shop. Do you ever get a chance to take breaks or vacations? You're always working so hard. I do take breaks. You don't always see it on social media, but I do take breaks. I am one of the 1% people of the world. I don't do well on vacations. I get major panic attacks and anxiety anytime I'm away from home for an overnight thing. even if it's somewhere awesome that I love going to, I am a wreck. We went out a few years ago on a road trip out to Colorado and Yellowstone for 2 weeks. When I tell you I had a panic attack every day, multiple times a day. My doctor said I couldn't take my panic attack medicine because of how it would react with the altitude out there. So I had to get like Benadryl to calm me down. It was awful. I was not functioning well. And anytime now, if I go anywhere, I just have panic attacks and I'm a wreck. So I don't do well on vacations. I like them. I just have to really take care of myself mentally when I'm on them. Okay, next question is, do you have any manufacturer recommendations that aren't in your ebook, specifically US based? I'm pretty sure I put all my manufacturer recommendations from the US in there. So I think they're all in there. Okay, when you print and cut your sticker planner sheets, what cut setting do you use? What cut setting I use may not work for you because every machine is different. For example, I have 2 Silhouette Cameo machines and I have to do different cut settings for Kiss Cut sticker sheets because they just cut differently for whatever reason. So it works for me, but it may not work for you. So usually the setting I use, I believe it's Kiss Cut Force, I think it's Force 3 and then Blade Depth 3. I think that's what I do. And that seems to work pretty well. Next one is, what did you do for work before you ran your own business? So I did a few things. The very first job I ever had was I was an usher at a movie theater. Believe it or not, I would be the one standing there taking your ticket, saying where your theater is, and then I would just clean up everybody's trash, really, at the end of the movie. That was my job. I didn't last long in it because of my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And this was actually when I was going through the process of getting diagnosed, because I was just having a lot of weird symptoms kind of like my whole life. And the final straw that made me quit the job was I was at the post taking tickets, and I think I was there, I don't know if it was an hour that I had to stand there, 30 minutes or something, and someone else was supposed to come in and take over my shift. And they never came to take over for me because no one liked doing that part of the job, and they just left me there. And with my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I have dysautonomia, so I will have low blood pressure spells, and if I can't stand for a while without getting very lightheaded, and if I don't catch it in time, I will pass out and faint. And that's what happened. I was standing there, I was waiting for them, and I saw the group of people that worked there walking by me, and I started to say something. It was something, I was like, can you help? And the next thing I know, I'm waking up on the floor with somebody holding me up saying, are you okay? Are you okay? Do we need to call 911? I was like, what happened? And I had fainted because I was standing too long. And you know those big cardboard displays at a movie theater where it's like promoting a movie? I had passed out and fell into that, and I hit my head. So it kind of broke my fall though, so I didn't hit my head on the hard floor, but I fell into that. And then they moved me to sit on the floor of the bathroom. It's not nice. And then I'll always remember there was this little sweet old lady, because they just left me in there to go get me cheese fries because they thought it was food related. I'm like, it's not food related. And this little lady comes over to me, this adorable woman. She goes, sweetie, are you diabetic? I have a glucose tablet. I'm like, I'm not diabetic, but thank you. She was so sweet. That was my first job. And then I also worked at a retail store in college, at a clothing store. I didn't last long again there because I couldn't do the long hour shifts of standing. I would frequently have to take breaks because I felt like I was going to pass out, and I couldn't do that. And then I worked for a wedding photographer, and I did computer work for her, like editing the photos and putting the packages together for the weddings. And then after that, started working at a children's bookstore in our town. Just unfortunately is not in business anymore, but I worked there. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I did a paint night there and would make art for the kids' birthday parties and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And then after that, I did some work for a wedding stationery designer. I would help prep like clients' files and stuff like that, and table cards. And then ever since then, that was 2018. So since 2018, I've been running my business full-time by myself and haven't done anything else. Okay, if you could make a dream product you haven't done yet, what would it be? A dream product. Ooh. I think something, this is silly because I don't even think that anyone would buy this or it'd be usable. But a dream product I've always wanted to do is like a flip through book where it's just filled with all of my artwork. Like I said, how no one thought I was good enough to do children's book art. I just think it'd be so fun to just have a book. Kind of like how you have books on a table so people can just like mindlessly flip through, like table books, like coffee table books, like that. I've always wanted to do a book where each page is a new artwork of mine, and then maybe on the back writing a blurb about it or my inspiration or something. I would love to do that. I don't think anybody would buy it, but I would love to do that. Okay, we have 2 more questions left. Next one is, what was one product you regret making? Ooh, good question. What do I regret making? I think sticker books. I really thought sticker books would be a big seller in my shop, and they are not a big seller. I ordered a bunch of those early last summer, early spring, and I still have so many left. So I don't think I'll do sticker books ever again. All right, final question. What? This is a good question to end with. I didn't even do this on purpose. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna close out this Q&A with, if you could do it all over again, would you do it the same or do something different? If I could do it all over again. So I'm just gonna give the response that I wouldn't change anything that I did, because if I did anything different, it wouldn't have gotten me where I am today. And I am so happy with where I am today. I am in love with my job. I love what I do. I love coming to work every day, and I get excited to work, and I don't think I could wish for anything more than that. And I mean, sure, maybe like one thing is I wish I found my niche sooner. Like I wish I found the Bookstagram world and had that light bulb moment of, let's combine my love for reading with my business and loving to draw. And I wish I had that moment sooner than 2019, but overall, I think everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. I had to go through a lot of hardships and get a lot of rejections of my artwork and have a lot of hard times and times of making no sales to really build me up to where I am today, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So that's my answer. Okay guys, so that brings us to the end of this video. I don't know how long this is going to end up being, so we may be kicking off Vlogmas with a really long video, so thank you so much if you stuck through it. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope I answered all your questions good enough and that you enjoyed them, that they were helpful, and hope you kind of enjoyed learning a bit more about the girl behind the business. And thank you so much for being here. I'm so very excited to be kicking off Vlogmas with day 1 of this video. I'm gonna be doing, like I said, 12 videos throughout December. They're gonna be spaced out to fill up the whole month of December, so it's not gonna be 12 videos the first 12 days of December. So it's gonna be like every other day, maybe 2 days between or something like that. But I have a schedule that I've posted so that you can see every time the new video is going to be up, so you can be ready for it. And every time the videos go up, they're going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's my time. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys are doing amazing, having a wonderful and magical holiday season. I am so excited to be spending the holidays with you guys this year. And thank you for watching me and letting me experience the holidays with you and spending time with me. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys are reading some amazing books. And so I will see you guys very soon for day 2 of Vlogmas. Bye.